Some of the fastest growing e-commerce brands have one thing in common. It's not some fancy ad strategy or AI use case, it's that they're running subscription programs. And in this video, I'm actually going to be showing you how to build one that works in 2026. Because after generating well over $175 million in email marketing revenue and working with over 250 plus brands, I've realized most people don't know how to do it right. Either they don't highlight their subscription offer well enough, or they completely ignore compliance, which torches their relationship with high value customers. But that doesn't have to be your only option, because you can build a subscription program that converts and retains customers by getting just 3 principles correct. Which is why I'm going to walk you through the exact playbook I use with 8-figure brands so you can do the same. But before we get into the details, you need to understand why subscription models are so attractive. And for that, let's compare a hypothetical brand A and brand B. Brand A does $500,000 in monthly revenue, while brand B does only about $200,000. On the surface, anyone would assume the one that's making more money is the better business, right? But let's say in this case, brand B has 500 customers paying $30 a month as part of their subscription program. That's $150,000 in pretty stable recurring revenue, while brand A is getting all of its money from one-time purchases. Well, actually in that case, the total monthly revenue of these brands start to matter less. Instead, the lifetime value becomes way more important. You see, while something as small as ad accounts getting banned or a bad month of chargebacks could cause all sorts of problems for brand A, brand B really wouldn't be affected. So overall, brand B has higher LTV per customer, lower ad dependency, and is far more attractive of an asset in the eyes of investors or private equity when you look to exit. That's why so many big name brands like Bruins, Rise, and AG1 make their subscription program their hero. Now, while it obviously works well for them, the same can't always be said for everyone else, because a lot of brands try implementing subscription programs the wrong way. And I'm not talking about minor optimization issues. I'm talking about brands doing stuff like skipping billing reminders because they think it'll reduce cancellations, or sending nothing at all after someone subscribes, hoping that they won't remember to cancel, and they wonder why they keep churning and getting chargebacks all the time. When the major problem is that they've never learned how to run a subscription program correctly. That's why I'm about to walk you through the 3 things you need in 2026 to build a killer subscription program. Starting with the offer, which is the main incentive you offer to people when signing up for your subscription. When it comes to most offers, the most important KPI you always want to be looking at is your first order subscription take rate, also known as the percentage of customers who choose to subscribe on their very first order. Ideally, it should be around 60 to 70%, even upwards of 80% if done the right way, because you want to make this a no-brainer offer for them. And just as I said, this all comes down to your initial offer. If you mess that up and people don't feel interested or compelled to choose your subscription program over making a one-time purchase, you'll actually make them want to turn away. So let me walk you through a few examples of a strong offer and how you can do something similar. So I have pulled up a few major brands that you guys definitely have seen in the past before. Rise Superfoods being one, Grunts being the other, Everyday Dose with their mushroom coffee being the third, and then the last I made David Beckham's brand. Now, all of these 4 brands are doing excess of 8 figures per month. Everyday Dose might be doing slightly less, but to my knowledge, all of these brands are doing extremely well, definitely 7 figures plus per month. So a lot of the times what you want to do is take a look at these major brands that have gone through all these tests and all these different offers and see exactly, hey, if they're doing it, why should we not do it, right? So as a result, if we take a look at Rise, you can see that their main offer here is their mushroom coffee. And as a result, they have different offers here. And if you see right here, adjust shipments or cancel anytime, their main offer, it's already 100% opt-in, meaning you can't even choose one-time purchase. So now when you go through into purchase, they're having 100% take rate of everyone that ends up purchasing, because at the end of the day, they don't have any option for one-time purchase. Now, in order for them to do this, they have to have a custom backend and checkout and everything. They have to be able to actually show 30-day guarantee recurring subtotal. Sometimes people hide this. That's extremely black hat. We want to stay away from that. Now, as you can see here, their main angle is the fact that they're throwing in all these different free products, or free mushroom magnet, free spoon and cup, free insured shipping, and all for a very low price, $36 every 30 days. And that's the main thing. That's the whole purpose of the subscription offers, for them to get recurring revenue every single day. And now you see the same thing with the Grunts, right? You have a auto ship and save, and you do have one-time purchase, but it's conveniently put at the very bottom. So as soon as you load and you see it, you only really see subscription, subscribe and save. Everyday Dose, they have a very similar situation as Rise, where they just only show opt-in offer of them getting a monthly opt-in right here, recurring total, so that way you never have to worry about it. But as you can see, they're not going ahead and hiding anything. They're telling them clearly, hey, this is going to be a monthly subscription, right? Maybe you have to get to the checkout, which is why a lot of times people might consider this to be in the middle. It's gray hat. When in reality, in my opinion, I think this is completely fine, because once again, they're being very clear at the cost of their, of course, take rate by letting them know that, hey, this is going to be a $36 refill and it ships every 30 days. Naturally, if you go ahead and completely hide this and don't notify them at all and even hide them at checkout, that is completely terrible. You should not be doing that as a brand. And then lastly, we have I'm8, which, you know, is David Beckham's brand. As you guys know, I think they started a little over last year, so it's been maybe 14-15 months, and they're already on track to do several hundreds of millions of dollars in the coming years, right? So these guys have a 90-day supply and a 30-day supply, but both of them, as you can see, are a subscribe and save offer first, not one-time purchase. So now that you see these 4 brands that are absolutely crushing it, the main thing that you're starting to realize is, hey, they're all doing subscribe and save first, which is probably why they have a very high take rate and high opt-in rate. And as you can see, they have a lot of other things that go on, not just the subscribe and save. They talk about a free mystery gift, cancel and pause anytime, free priority shipping to US, UK, Canada, and UAE, and most of APAC, and maximum savings, lowest price per saving. So all in all, this is a great way for you to do it by tying in free gifts and free products. For example, Rise does extremely well with this. They go ahead and they add in all those free products. Same thing goes with Everyday Dose. They go ahead and they include a frother, various measurements, different things for you to go ahead and be enticed into getting this subscription, as opposed to just being a one-time customer. Now, all those brands have those amazing setups, but at the end of the day, they have emails on the back end. If you as a brand want to implement subscriptions and you don't have the back end set up, let us do it for you. Rather than building out the email and SMS side of things on your own, you can literally just book a call below. We will give you a free audit, and beyond just creating effective pre and post delivery emails, our complete marketing system has generated well over $175 million for our clients. Just take Clone Sense, for example, for which we made over $633,000 in revenue just from emails in just 30 days. And as part of this system, we take care of everything from your automated flows, high converting campaigns, and all the things in between, whether it's copy, design, implementation. So if you'd like to learn more and how we can help your brand, just book a call below. So now that you know how to get customers onto your subscription, the next step is making sure that they stay, because the alternative is having a flood of new subscribers who cancel before they even make it to their 2nd or 3rd month, which not only wipes out the recurring revenue that you just paid to acquire and sometimes even lost just to acquire, but it also defeats the reason of running subscriptions in the first place. So to avoid all of that, you need a proper onboarding sequence split into 2 phases, pre-delivery and post-delivery. Each of these sequences should be focusing on specific educational material, from dosage guides and usage reminders before the product even shows up to their doorstep, to results and timelines, consumption check-ins, and even after they've received it. That way, you can nurture subscribers who are actively using your product every single day, because that's the real key to a successful program. For example, one of the most overlooked reasons why people cancel their subscription is because they have too much of it piling up because they're not using it consistently. And that could all be avoided by simply educating that customer on how they should be using it as it follows, whether it's taking a pill once per day, twice per day, using it once per week, whatever the situation is, you need to educate your customer. Now, beyond that, there's so many other flows, both pre and post delivery, that need to be set up, and let me show you exactly what that looks like. Now, for the basis of putting something together for you guys, I actually sat down with the team and put this together, which is going over the top 4 subscription platforms out there that all of our clients use, right? I'm sure there's other platforms out there as well too, but these are the main ones that we notice across 60 plus brands that are on subscription that are actively using it to this day. And that's Skio, Recharge, Loop subscriptions, and Seal subscriptions. Now, of all of these, the largest one, of course, is Recharge. So do with that information as you will, but typically speaking, in my books, I only use the largest or enterprise plans because they are able to provide the greatest of outcomes. Now, at the same time, you feel like you want to do something more boutique, these smaller platforms like Seal and even Skio or Loop are able to do a lot more boutique things, so much so to the point where you have a direct line with any one of the engineers at their team, so they're able to help and build things for you. So look into all of the platforms. I'm not affiliated with any of them, but these are just all the ones that we see. Now, notably, the ones that use Skio are brands like Runes, Everyday Dose, Magic Mind, Bullet, G Fuel, Ghost, Recharge, It's Transparent Labs, Boxa, Verve Copy, Theo. Loops is Osea, DLG, Good Protein, which is a massive company. And even for a smaller one like Seal, they have their fair share, but at the same time, it's not as large as these bigger ones. So moving into exactly what each platform does, I mean, they all have their own benefits. They all have integrations, I believe, except for Seal subscriptions. They have API integration, but not a direct integration into Klaviyo. And they all have various plans. For example, Skio starts at $5.99. This is $25 a month, upwards of $4.99 for the Pro plan. Loops is $3.99, but they all have a component in which they take a percentage of the subscription revenue. So really, at the end of the day, these platforms are the real guys that are winning because they're making a buck on every single quarter. And then lastly, Seal, this is their pricing. Now, if we want to go into the pros and cons of each, basically put together all of this for you guys to take a look at here, and you can pause and look at them. This is what it is for Seal. This is what it is for Loops. This is what it is for Recharge, and this is what it is for Ski, right? Now, all of them are good. Now, what matters the most for me is the actual email templates and the main things that go on after you go ahead and get set up with any one of those companies, right? So whether it be a subscription confirmation, what they expect, like we just mentioned on the previous call, the pre-delivery flows, whether it's retention and engagement, so pre-renewal reminders, 3 days before the next billing date, post-renewal, after the order has been shipped, milestone celebration, so whether it's their 3rd month with you guys, 6th month, 12th month, these are all things that are set up in place, and they don't have to be anything crazy long. Like, for example, this is what we go ahead and we send out for just a few of the brands that we work with that are on, whether it be Loops or Seal or Skio. They all have their own templates, but it's really important for you as a brand owner to make those custom to your actual product. So in this case, hey, first name, X months, that's how long you've been a part of this brand family. Over that time, you've saved that much amount, you received X amount of deliveries, and you're in the top X%, right? So something to make them feel good. We don't take that for granted. As a thank you, here's early access or some sort of incentive or bonus. Sometimes you can even do a free product. Everyday Dose actually does that, and every 3 months they go ahead and they send their customers a free product as a goodwill and gesture for them to stay on with their brand. Now, all in all, there's also other things like churn prevention and win back, where there's something as simple as, hey, we get it, here's something before you go. So prior to someone canceling, if they've opted into it, before they really go through and we go that final length of canceling, we want to make sure that we're giving something to them because maybe they want to go ahead and stop and actually continue with us. And then lastly, upsells and expansions if you have multiple products. And all of these are not crazy long intricate emails. They're actually very simple to the point, but of course they do need to be branded to a certain regard. So all in all, these are the platforms that we use across all the brands that we work with. These are the types of templates that we're setting up for a lot of the brands, but even then, at sometimes some of these can be overkill. Sometimes you don't need 12 plus flows because it will actually increase your churn. The whole goal is, this is just a recommendation for you to actually implement it, put it in place, test it, see if it does better. If it does, then keep it. If it doesn't, then get rid of it. But if you don't test it in the first place, then you won't know if it's going to be useful. Now, to make it easier for you, I went ahead and I put together by revenue. This is what you should probably be doing. If 0 to 50K per year. And once again, you can always migrate over to different platforms. 0 to 50K a year, you can go ahead and do Seal. 50 to 200, you can do Loop. 200 to 500, you could do Loop or Recharge. 500 to 2 million, you can do Recharge or Skio. And 2 million plus, you can do either Skio or Recharge. Once again, this has nothing to do with any of their capabilities. This is just what we have noticed across a census that we've done with all the brands we work with. These are the other top priority things that you might want to be looking at. You can pause and look. And the annual cost of each. Once again, this is also dependent on the amount of transactions that you do, so do not forget that. But either way, now that you've got your subscribers signing up and using your product correctly, the last step is making sure that they stay subscribed long term. This is where your billing reminders make all the difference, because most brands make 1 or 2 mistakes here. Either they skip billing reminders entirely because they think fewer reminders means fewer cancellations, or they send so many to a point where it becomes transactional and it says something very blunt like, hey, please cancel your subscription. And neither of these options lead to better results or better retention, because if you're not sending billing reminders at all, you run the risk of customers ruining that relationship and they feel like they were tricked out of their money. Now, while just sending a boring, hey, you're about to be billed reminder doesn't really get them a reason to actually want to stay. It's actually just reminding them, hey, you're giving us money. So the only way to actually retain these customers long term is to reframe the entire billing reminder around their experience with your product. And that's exactly how you can turn your subscription program into a major source of revenue for your brand. But everything we've covered in this video is just one part of the equation, because if you want to increase your sales, you need a complete email marketing strategy that does more than just push more subscriptions. So if you'd like to see the exact system that I use to help a brand generate $1.3 million in just 30 days, watch this next video and I'll see you there.